Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. This is Miss Turner. I'm coming to you. This is just going to be a short video. I'm going to tell you some information, and then I'm going to go over a few things from Monday all the way up to yesterday, which will be Wednesday. Okay, so first things first, you're going to be getting you will be receiving 2 daily grades for the week. 2 daily grades. The way I'm taking grades this week is 1 daily grade. It's either you get 100 or you don't. And that's going to be if you got your Get More Math account. Your second daily grade for this week is going to be the 6.4 E and F exit ticket, which I won't give to you guys until Friday. It's 5 questions. It's once you do the practice sets on Get More Math, you'll be fine. Okay? Also want to let you know that I'm going to be calling small groups. The times that I'm going to be doing small groups in the morning session, I'm going to be doing 11:45 to about 12:30. Okay, so it's going to go a little bit past 12:30. Then I'm going to do a PM session, so afternoon session, from 1 to 3. I'm sorry, 1:30 to about 2:30. Maybe about 2:15-ish. I'll say 2:15. Because the groups aren't going to last that long. But 2:30 if need be, no worries. Okay? Next, I want to tell you that I have office hours. Office hours are when you've watched the lesson on the video lesson in the folder and you still have questions, or if you have questions about how to do something in Schoology, or if you need help reaching another teacher, anything you need, this is the time to come say hi, tell me how your week's going, anything. These are the times. This is office hours. Okay, so that time I have AM and PM. In the morning, I'm going to be doing from 9:30 to about 10:15, and then I'll be doing another session from 3 p.m. to 4. Okay, so that's just some housekeeping information. Remember, whenever you come into these meetings, they're going to be on Google Meets, but please mute your mics whenever you come in. Okay, so let's get back to the math. So I'm going to go over a few things with you guys. First, I'm going to talk to you about converting fractions to decimals. So looking on Get More Math, I see that people are having problems whenever they want you to start rounding. People are forgetting how to divide, and that's okay. That's why I'm doing this video right now, to help refresh your memory. So what you need to do, it says convert 2/7 to a decimal. Remember, all you're doing, top in, bottom out. Okay? Top in, bottom out. Add my decimal in 0 because 7 can't go into 2. That's too small. Add my decimal in the quotient. 7 can go into 20. I know my times table is about twice, so 7 times 2 is 14. If you need a multiplication chart, make sure you've clicked on the daily agenda and you went to the anchor charts. Multiplication charts are available to you. The next thing I'm going to do is subtract. I have 6 left. Almost, but not enough, so I'm going to add another 0 and bring it down. 60. I know that 7 times 8 is 56. And I'm going to go 4 here. I'm at my 100th place right now, but it's telling me to round to the nearest 100th. So what I'm going to do is keep going one more time. So I'm going to add a 0, bring it down, 40. I know that 7 times 5 is 35. So minus 35, remainder 5. I'm going to leave that, but go back up here. So now what I've gotten so far is 0.2 5, which is 258 thousandths, but I want to round it to the nearest hundredth. So remember with rounding, if your number is 5 or higher, you're going to round up, but if it's 4 or lower, you're going to keep the number the same. So since it's 5, I'm going to look at 8. I'm going to round that number up 1. So my answer is going to be 0.29 or 29 hundredths. I look at this number to tell me if this number I'm going to round up or down. If it's 5 or more, I'm going to round up. If it's 4 or less, I'm just going to leave it the same. So if it was 2.84, it would just be, my new answer would just be 2.8. Okay, I'm going to do another one. Convert 6 over 13 to a decimal. So 6 over 13, 6 divided by 13. 13 can't go into 6. It can go into 60. Do some math on the side. That's too large. 52 times 4 minus 52 is 8. Bring down a 0. 13 times 6, 18. 78, so 6 minus 78. 2, 0, because I brought another 0 down. So I'm just dividing. I'm dividing out to my nearest thousandths, and then 1, because that's all I can fit in there. Again, I'm just going to leave the remainder down there. I'm only focusing on these first 3 numbers. So 0.461. 1 is lower than 4, so I'm going to leave it the same, and the nearest hundredth when I round is just going to be 0.46. This is going to be my answer. Okay, so that's converting fraction to decimal when you have to round. Now these ones down here, these should be mental math. You should know these. You should know these by heart. 1/5 is 0.5. 1/4, 1 over 4, is 0.25. These are benchmark fractions and decimals. We're going to be talking about this in the next video, but these are called benchmark. Benchmark means that these are common. That means they are relevant. Not relevant, but they are repetitive. They happen a lot. Very, very common fractions. Okay, so that was converting. Now we're going to talk about going from a fraction to a percent. Now these give you like a word problem, and they want you to read the word problem, look at the diagram, write that fraction from the diagram, and then change that into a percent. So Dora is on her school's tennis team. The shaded portion of the strip diagram below represents how many of her team's matches she has participated in. What percentage of her team's matches has she participated in? So has she? So the shaded portions tell us she has been in 3 things, but how many are there total? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 out of 10. I like to label them sometimes so I don't get confused. But 3 out of 10. Now I need to take that fraction. Asking me, what is the percent? Well, how do I get a number that's going to have a percent sign on the end? What am I going to do? Okay. All I'm going to do is the same thing that we've been doing. I'm going to take a fraction. I'm going to convert it to a decimal. Then I'm going to divide. 10 cannot go into 3, so I added a decimal and a 0, and I put another decimal in the quotient. 10 can go into 30 3 times. 10 times 3 is 30. 0. Finished. That's my decimal. Now remember, my decimal is 3.0, but I have to take my decimal point and move it 2 times, 1, 2, to the right. When I have a blank space right here, I always have to put a 0. But only when there's a blank space. If there wasn't a blank space, I wouldn't put a 0, but because there is one, I'm going to put a 0. So my new percentage is going to be 30%. So I went from a strip diagram to a fraction to a decimal to a percent. Okay, I'm going to have time for about 2 more. So number 2 says the shaded portion, actually no, let's do this one. Number 3. Leah is on her school's chess team. The shaded portion of the strip diagram below represents how many of her team's matches she has participated in. What percentage of her team's matches did she not participate in? Not. Please read carefully. Not. So I don't care about the shaded stuff. I know that she didn't participate in 2 of these. But how many things are there total? There's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 out of 20. Okay, so I'm going to take this fraction, divide, because I want to convert it into a decimal first. 20 can't go into 2, but it can go into 20 exactly 1 time. 0.01, or I'm sorry, 0.1 or 1/10. And I'm going to take this and move it 2 spots to the right. Add my 0 because there's a blank spot. So my percent is 10%. She did not participate in 10% of the team's matches. I took because I was looking for not, so I took my unshaded portion, I put that over the total amount of rectangles, which is 20. Then I took that fraction and divided it. 2 divided by 20. I got 1/10 or 0.1. And then I added a 0 at the end because it was a blank space, so I always have to add a 0. And that's how I got 10%. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always go back and watch these videos again. Okay. I'm going to do this problem because there's a lot of questions about these two. Now remember, percents can be shown with numbers greater than 100. It's just a percent is per 100. You can have more than $100. You can have more than 1 whole of something. You can have more than 1, okay? So each of these circles represents 100%. This is 100%, this is 100%, and this is 100%. So far from my model, I already have 300%. Now what I need to figure out is how much does this percent represent. So what I'm going to do is count my spaces first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. And it's asking me about shaded. By the way, I don't think I read my question. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 shaded areas. So I'm going to take this fraction. So take this fraction 4/10 and divide it. 4 divided by 10. 10 can't go into 4, so I add my decimal and my 0. 4 can go into 10 4 times, so minus 40 equals 0. So I put 4/10 here, then I'm going to take my decimal point and move it 2 spots to the right. I have a blank space, so in that blank space I'm going to add a 0, and that's going to give me 40%. Now that's not my total answer because I need to know everything that's shaded. Everything that's shaded includes this 300%. So 300% plus 40% is 340% total. That is the total sum. Again, percents can be represented, no, can represent more than 100. That is a thing. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, I'm running out of time. You can always send me a message on Schoology. I hope this was a quick little